So I want to show you the app. I'll get up the home page here. This is the home page of Disney Animated. And you can see there's two main sections to the app. Across the top, you have the story of how animated movies are made. And along the bottom, you have a set of interactive experiences that let you get sort of hands-on in that world. Let's look at the story part first. Now, if you ask anybody at Disney, where does a Disney movie come from? They'll always tell you it starts with a story. It starts with a story. It's the same answer to everybody. And so, that's we figured our app better start with a story too. So, chapter about stories. And then we go through the stages of production: visual development, character, layout and backgrounds. Eventually you get to animation. I was surprised how long it takes before you actually get to doing animation. Visual effects all the way through the final process of putting together a movie and releasing it. Each of these is a chapter. Let's go look at the chapter on characters. So this is the page that you might see in any print book about Disney animation. And there's a problem, which is that these pictures are not moving. These should be moving. They're all scenes, clips out of animated films. So what you can do here is you can touch it. And we should be hearing it. Here, there we go. This is what you should be seeing when you're reading about animation. You should be seeing the actual animation. Let's go on to the next page here. You should be seeing that not just for a few of the clips. You should be seeing it for all of them. So on this page, every single thing on here is a little clip. I won't let them all play because some of them are long, some are short. Every single thing, I can touch it and it moves. It talks.
Anything happens to this, I'm gonna be lost. Peter Pan.
We go on to the next page. Now, of course, not everything to do with animation is a clip. Some things are biz dev art, things like that. This is an example of something that I find particularly fascinating. This is an animation maquette. Used as reference by the animators to draw from different angles. These things are locked up in the Animation Research Library, and you can't get to these things. Absolutely nobody can touch these things other than the curators with white gloves. You just can't see them. Unless you have this app, in which case you can take your finger and swipe this thing and turn it as if you were holding it in your hand. It was quite an ordeal to get them to agree to let us photograph these things this way. And there's a bunch of them in the app. So that's kind of the idea, is that there's different sorts of things in this book, and we let you interact with each one of them in a way that makes the most sense for that kind of material. I'm going to go through here. I want to get to a particular page, partly to show you a certain thing on that page, and partly just because I want to kind of blow your mind about how much is in this book. It just keeps going. There's stuff from Frozen that you haven't seen anywhere. There's stuff that you don't see anywhere else. There's just a lot of stuff. And remember, that all moves. Okay, here's the page I wanted to get to. This is the beautiful background paintings from some of the early movies. Any one of these could be in an art museum. What's the best way how should you interact with this thing? Like if you had this painting, this is an Ivan Earl background from Sleeping Beauty. If this was in your living room, what would you do with it? You might sell it and retire, but if you didn't want to do that, you might look at it. You might walk up to it. You might lean in a little bit. You might get out a magnifying glass. And so what you can do here in the app is you can get right up to it. You can see the individual brush strokes. Very, very high resolution scan. Higher quality, higher resolution than has ever been available anywhere. And we have that for a bunch of these classic, beautiful backgrounds. And I'll show you this clip. So this is a scene from Lion King. When you watch this as you're watching the movie, you see it as finished work. You see it as a piece of video that streams out. But that's not really how animators think about this stuff. They think about it in terms of a series of images that need to work together and that came from someplace, that were created in some way. So we let you peel back those layers. I can slide my finger down here, and I'm sliding here between the finished cells, the story panels, the cleanup animation. I can go back and forth. I can see what the relationship is between the cleanup frames and the final cells. This is something you've never been able to do. Not even anybody at Disney has been able to examine and study their work this way. And it makes you feel, it makes you feel closer to the people who made this in a way that's difficult to describe. You really kind of have to try it for yourself. And then we have this little strip here at the bottom, these little sort of bar of colors along the very bottom, which you might almost miss. This is what we call the color map, and it shows the sequence of predominant colors as they occur throughout the movie from start to finish. And it kind of lets you see what's going on, sort of what mood is going on in a given part of the movie by the colors. If they're bright, happy colors, probably a bright, happy scene. If it's dark and, then maybe that's a scary scene or something. Like, for example, if at the end of Lion King, there's a big fire, and then in the battle, and then it's dark and it's night, and then suddenly it's happy again. You can see that if you look towards the end, right before the black of the credits, you see red and then dark and then bright. And if this isn't clear enough, you can touch the color map, and you can see a thumbnail, which I can swipe through here. So here I'm seeing the fire, and then the dark, and then happy, 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 everybody's good, and we're into the credits. So I'm sweeping through the entire movie here. This is the whole thing. Now it's thumbnails, and there's no sound, but it's basically the whole movie. We have this color bar for every movie, every animated feature film made by Walt Disney Animation Studios. We can put them together in one page. So, it's my favorite feature too. So this is it. This is everything. This is 30 million man-hours of work, something like that. From Snow White at the top to Wreck-It Ralph at the bottom. Of course, we can't put Frozen in yet because they haven't finished the movie. You can't make the color bar until you finish the movie. And I can touch this anywhere. I can go forwards and backwards through history. I can go left and right through the movies. So I can see, I love this, I can see everything.